Hi, Self Awareness. I am your host, Rose, and today is October 17, 2018, and I have another great guest who's going to introduce herself and all the great things that she's doing for the community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Miss Abena, and I'm the creator and founder of Bronx Holistic Healing and coordinating holistic events in the Bronx and beyond.
Oh, could you tell the audience how we met?
Okay, I was looking online for information about chakras and holistic healing, and I came across chakra spectrums. As I'm reading the website, I said, I know this lady. As it turned out, I used to live in the same building with her, and she always had these inspirational sayings in her window. So I said, this is very funny how the universe works, us connecting again.
Thank you.
So just remembering that you always had this information and was always very positive and very cheerful. So it was just another sign of, okay, things being on the right track.
And I think you said you came to one of the workshops that I used to do down in Manhattan.
Yes, yes, at TRS, I believe, on
Yes,
28th Street.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So could you tell the audience what inspired you to do what you are doing now? Because
Well,
it's a lot of work.
yes, it is. I recently had an event 2 weeks ago, and it was my 30th event in the Bronx. I started in 2012, and there used to be a bookstore called Sunkofa,
Yes.
and they wanted to do a health fair. And I thought, I'm tired of going to Manhattan and tired of going to Brooklyn for all of these events when I knew a lot of people in the Bronx that did holistic healing. So when they said they wanted to do a health fair, I said, okay, let's just use the people from the Bronx. The event was held on January 21st, 2012. It was a Saturday, and the night before it had snowed.
Yes.
And the owners couldn't even let the people in at first because they were still finishing the floors. And afterward, they said they were glad that it snowed because if more people came, they didn't know how they would accommodate them.
Thank you.
And I came to the store a week afterward, and you could still kind of feel the
The
energy there.
energy.
It was a wonderful event. We talked about so many things: meditation, the chakras. We had a chair yoga demonstration. We had massage. And it was really historic because I don't think anything like this had ever happened in the Bronx before.
And because of the weather, they didn't expect so many people. And people who've been watching my show for years came from Brooklyn.
Yes.
And transportation was really messed up, but they said they wanted to meet me in person
Yes.
because I was the keynote speaker
Yes.
at that event.
Yes.
And like you said, the energy, it was amazing.
Yes.
Everybody was amazing.
Yes.
I'll never forget that day.
Yes.
So, and after you did that one, that's when you continue.
Yes, the owners contacted me the following year, said we want to do this again, and we'd like to do an event for women. And so we did an event for New Year's, and then we did a Women's Wellness Day, and they kept saying that we want to continue doing this. So in 2014, we did the Bronx first annual Bronx Vegetarian Food and Natural Living Festival. That was really wonderful because we had a fantastic turnout for that one. And I purposely had the vendors and the practitioners in the street because I wanted people there on Southern Boulevard to see this energy, this healing information. It's here for you. You are
Yes.
entitled to it as well. So I remember seeing people on the 19 bus looking out the window like, what's going on? Why does that person have their elbow in that person's back? Why is that lady rubbing that person's feet? Why are people smelling these things? And one lady came to me later, said, I was on the bus, I had to get off and see what was going on.
Wow.
We had aromatherapy, we had shiatsu massage, Reiki, foot reflexology, and we had 3 people doing vegetarian food inside. So someone came by later after we were packing up, and they said, I just saw this on News 12 because News 12 came by. They said, I just saw this on News 12. I just had to come be here. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. We're finishing. So that's another event that I definitely look forward to doing in the coming year.
Okay, so tell us about the one that's coming up, even though it would be past by the time we show the show, but give them an idea about the different things that's going to be going on.
Well, I can definitely say 2018 was full of events. I did a first event in Teaneck, New Jersey. Shout out to Rock Collage Healing Gallery in New Jersey, owned by Miss Judith. If you're in Jersey, please check out her holistic shop. I've also did in September, our collective of healers, we participated in the Yonkers River Fest. So we had a wellness pavilion at the River Fest. We had a wonderful location along the river. We did aura clearings. We offered massage. There was foot reflexology. You could purchase crystals and handcrafted soaps. And then the following weekend, there was an event in Highbridge at the Holistic Gardens there, their annual Holistic Day. It was also done an event in another garden called Synergy on Hoe Avenue in the Bronx. And last weekend, we had back-to-back events at Confetti and in Pelham Bay and back in New Jersey. So this event on Saturday, the 20th, is called Know Your Worth. You are the prize. And it is an event to kind of help you to remember and remind yourself of your worth and of your value. Sometimes we get so bogged down with working and taking care of children and just everything that we just kind of maybe feel like we're not valued. So this is a day to really reaffirm your self-care, your self-love, and your self-worth. So we're really looking forward to offering this again.
Okay, so when you talk about aura, can you give the audience an idea of what is an aura?
Well, everyone has an aura, which is your energy. We can't really see it through the naked eye, although some people actually can see
Thank you.
your aura. And it can change throughout the day, throughout your life. Like, if you come near a person and you start to feel happy or positive, and other people, you may feel a little down or a little different because of what their aura is reflecting at the moment. So one of the services that's been offered at some Bronx Holistic events has been aura clearing, where a person is just able to relax, and the practitioner is able to help, kind of clear their aura, maybe clear some things that they might be going through, just to bring them back to a state of balance.
So, but aura has different colors depending on the mood that the person is feeling at that time, because you can be positive one minute and negative the next, and the color will change.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember attending a fair in Pennsylvania and having some aura photography taken. And it was very interesting. There were a lot of yellows and a lot of greens, I remember, because at that time I was really in a moment of transition in life, moving from one career, as I'd worked in the music industry for a number of years, and then moving more towards more healing arts and learning more about holistic healing. And the practitioner was explaining that, oh, your aura is showing that you're opening up because you're wanting to learn more about the healing arts and massage and so many different things. So it was very interesting. There's so many things that go on that we just can't see with our naked eye, but sometimes we can feel them, and they can definitely have an impact on our lives.
And, that is true, because when I wrote my 5 books, and when you talk about know your worth, I feel that's the main problem with most people on this dimension, because we've been programmed that something is wrong with us. We're not good enough, and you need this, you need that, and then people get caught up in the materialism, titles and labels, but they still don't feel their self-worth, because it comes from within. It has nothing to do with the external, it's the internal. And most people, they don't understand that part of themselves, which is the spirit, the soul.
Yeah.
We've been so programmed to focus on the body,
Yes.
which is the external,
Yeah.
because we're not the body, we're in the body, which a lot of people do not realize yet. So this is, and what I like about your event, you cover so many different aspects on the spiritual level, you know, because the first one that you did, the herbalist that I had interviewed on my show, you had her to the event, and she talks about the herbs, the elements. I mean, she really, because I took a herbalist class in the early 90s, but she took it to a whole deeper level that I like, wow. And all the petitioners that you have and the food, the last one I went to, the food was all natural, organic, but everything was good because we get caught up with taste.
Yes.
And we've been so programmed eating really bad food.
Yes.
And
Or non-foods.
yes, with all the different chemicals and stuff. But we got so accustomed to the taste.
Yes.
So many people that I know of, when they eat something organic, first thing they say, they don't like it.
Yes.
It don't taste good. And when I first started eating organic, certain things I didn't think taste good and I didn't like, but I continue to eat it and I love it.
Yes.
And it tastes great.
Yes.
So it has to do with the taste buds.
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, and this is what many people don't in and understand, because even with the herb teas, some people will try it one time and they say it don't work.
Yes.
And you know about the herb teas and stuff because, you know, you deal with everything on the spiritual level. And meditation is key.
Yes. Yes.
And the yoga people, they was excellent
Oh, yes.
to, you know, to do the yoga exercise and stuff. So what would you say to someone who's beginning on this path?
Okay, I would definitely say meditation. And someone recently at an event asked me, how do you meditate? I said, well, meditation, what works for you will work differently for someone else.
Thank you.
Some people count. Some people need a mantra. Some people need silence. For myself, I would just do maybe like counting to 10. And I found that as I practiced, I was able to get into a meditative state rather quickly.
Okay.
Until the first time I got to a point where I realized there's no thoughts. I was like, wow.
That's
And,
powerful.
yes, I said there's no
No
thoughts. And I realized this is a very powerful point. You know, you're starting from, you don't want to say nothing, but just the emptiness. And it just made me think about birth. It just made me think about this is who we really are, the silence. There's a picture I saw online of a star, and it says, I found this really, really old picture of you. And I love that because it shows we are stardust. You know,
Thank you.
We are connected to the universe. So the things that are in the stars, the carbon, the hydrogen, things like that, they are in us.
Thank you.
You know, this society tells us we have to look a certain way, we have to attain a certain status, we have to have a certain amount of money in order to be considered successful or beautiful or all these other labels, when really we come here with all that we need. We are fully equipped with all that we need. So meditation is definitely a good first step. And on YouTube and online, you can definitely experiment with meditation method will work with you. And the more that you get into it, I used to feel like I couldn't wait to get home so I could meditate. Like I would just like want to just get home just so I could be in that silence, just to kind of be with me. I kind of saw it as an inner university when I started to kind of learn who I really was without all of these labels. And I think another thing that happens is in this society is that we get so distracted. We're
Yes.
purposely kept very, very busy so that we don't have time to be alone with ourselves, to just be still with ourselves. And some people may feel, I have to be moving, I have to be doing this, I have to be active. Why? You're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything. It's okay to just be still, to just be. And that's something that's very important in the process of getting to know yourself. Just spending some time with you.
With self.
Particularly as women, we're taught it's not good to be alone.
Thank
There's something
you.
wrong with you
Thank
if
you.
you're alone. But how can you really have a relationship if you don't have that relationship with yourself?
Thank you.
People talk about date nights, and I've been thinking the things that we are taught about relationships, let's do them for ourselves first. Let's have a date night with ourselves. Let's go to the movies, take ourselves out to dinner, take ourselves on a picnic.
Thank you.
You know, have a picnic in your house. Do the things that you want to do for yourself first, because that will also help to raise your vibration and increase your frequency, so that will attract more to you.
And what are you saying about females being with self? And that is so important. I just did a show where I was talking about the same thing: loving self, valuing self, trusting self, believing in self. And I told the audience in 2000, I married myself.
Yes.
I jumped the broom. My son, he walked me down the aisle. My daughter, she was the rain girl. My mentor, she's a metaphysic reverend. She did the ceremony and made the marriage license. And it just, people was like shocked because I didn't tell. Maybe 2 people knew. And it had to be about 50 people at the Earth Day party, because, you know, I don't celebrate birthdays. I call it Earth Days because you really never was born and you never can die. So I call it Earth Day. We just reincarnated here again.
Yes.
But my wedding anniversary that just passed September the 9th, 2018, one of my goddaughter came up from Miami and took me to Connecticut. And they had me a surprise anniversary party for my, 18th anniversary. And it was just, that showed me how much I have grown and learned how to love myself, how to be with myself, and trust myself, and I feel good.
Yes.
And what you were saying about going out, when I first got on the spiritual path, I started going to the movies alone with myself, restaurants with myself, because I wanted to get into that vibration and feeling good being with me. I feel it's the most challenging thing women have to learn. I'm not speaking against men, because there are some good men out there.
Absolutely.
But women need to value self and love self first, because I feel we've been programmed to always look for a man to love us to feel worthy. And I feel it's a big problem, even with the generation of females today, because I just talked about it on one of my shows. These women just taking care of these guys in and out of jail, don't work, don't want nothing, and a lot of them are treating them like garbage, and they still with them and supporting them. So this is what, I feel we need to fix that because we're passing it on from generation to generation.
Yes.
And if women get themselves straight, the men will get straight because they're only doing what we allow them to do.
Yes. I feel that there's just a lot of dysfunction because we're not taught about
Thank you.
ourselves. I mean, society is not invested in us learning about ourselves and developing and growing because it all starts with self. And we are definitely taught to go outside, to not look within, and that's why I feel it is important to not just spend the time with yourself, but enjoy spending the
Thank
time
you.
with yourself.
Thank you.
Because you don't feel like, okay, I'm doing this just so I can,
Thank you.
because someone said I need to. No,
Yes.
enjoy it
And
because that's how you learn what you like. You learn more about yourself and the things that you like to do. We are taught so much to go outside of ourselves. We're taught, oh, we have to go shopping, we have to have this dress, we have to have these clothes and all of these other things that we need to have on a material level, but we're not taught about what we need to have inside. And I definitely feel that the rushing and looking for relationships, which may be unhealthy and toxic, is because we're looking for something to fulfill us.
Thank you.
When we spend time with ourselves and learn who we are, we can learn that we are equipped with what we need, that we can fulfill things, we can accomplish our own goals and dreams. Because you'll turn around and 10, 15 years of your life has passed by, and how full was your life? How whole was your life? What were you focused on in your life? So I think that a lot of what's happening now, a lot of conversations now, people talk about healing. People talk about growing. But do people really understand what healing means?
Thank you.
Also, how I got into this really was I went through a very devastating personal crisis, and
Okay.
it kind of made me go into myself. I had to sit down and spend time with myself and learn who I was. I worked in the music industry and I felt very happy there, went to parties and things like that. And I would say I'm very grateful for this paycheck.
Thank you.
However, I wish I could be doing things that could be really helping people. I always said first I was grateful. I always
Yes.
preface that
Yes.
first. However, I wished I could do things to help people. And I wasn't moving, I wasn't doing anything. And one day the universe was like, you've been saying this, but you aren't doing anything, so here. And I was released from my job. As one thing I've heard just from other people, sometimes these life changes, at the time they are like, oh my gosh, they look like crisis. Your growth can look like a crisis, like, oh my God, what am I
Yes.
going to do?
Yes.
What am I going to do? I never imagined that I would be coordinating holistic events. I never imagined, and I'm so grateful for the people like yourself and the practitioners and people that I know that are in my circle. Healers, massage people, herbalists, life coaches. These are the people in my circle. And I'm so grateful for that. But the healing path is not an easy one.
Thank you.
It's not an easy one. That looking into yourself, spending time with yourself, looking at the lies you've told yourself,
Thank you.
the images that you've put up about yourself, and it really breaks you down, but it breaks you down to build you up. And I
Yes.
can honestly say I'm very happy with who I am now.
Thank you.
I'm very happy and I'm very, very grateful. And it is a journey, and it can take 5, 10, 15 years or whatever, but just start. Just spend 10 minutes trying to meditate. Go to a bookstore and pick up a book to learn more about yourself and spirituality and development. Go to a vegetarian restaurant and try a meal or try to cook one yourself.
Yes.
It is a process, it is a journey, but it is definitely a very rewarding journey because each step takes you closer back into you, into who you really are.
And that is so true. And like you say, you had a crisis that got you to get to that point. Well, I know the audience know my crisis was when I was diagnosed with psychosis, and 2 hospitals said it was incurable, and I've been cured for over 20 years. And I'm so grateful that, and it was a process because the book that the Creator sent to me was The Key to Yourself. And I was reading it, thinking about it, going to different workshop that I wasn't accustomed to, because I said, what is meditation?
Yes.
What is vibration? And, so all of this was, to me, I thought was new, but like I keep telling people, you're learning to remember,
Yes,
because you
exactly.
already know
Yes.
this stuff. We just forgot. And different things come in our life to shake us up.
Yes.
And we focus on it negative instead of positive. And this is what I explain to people when they're going through something. And that's before I got conscious in spirituality. And she was Caucasian, and it was a bookstore in Manhattan. And, she wanted everybody to jump when she came by. They see her, but I was doing my job. I was just filing and running my mouth, but I was still doing my job. So all my coworkers, oh, she's gonna fire you. She's gonna fire you. And she didn't fire me. She laid me off. But when she laid me off, that's when I opened up my first boutique. So she pushed me out of my comfort zone because I had the idea, but I was afraid.
Yes.
So long as I had that job, I was, So everybody, oh, she's racist and da-da-da-da-da. I say she did exactly what she was supposed to do. It's how you respond to things. But we look at things negative. Oh, she's racist. She don't like black people. And I think 7 months, I went back and I thanked her. And she was shocked because she thought I was coming back to beg for the job.
Yes.
But I thank her because I opened up my first store. I was successful and made plenty of money, even though I didn't manage it good, but I made plenty of money. And I learned a lot. But we're going to end this and we'll continue with part 2.
Okay.
So, you want to say anything to the audience?
Fear is not real. It's something that's really manufactured because a situation can come up, but if we stop and say, why is this happening to me? If we stop saying that and kind of ask, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this?
Thank you.
Then we change the perspective. No matter what it is you're going through, you're growing through it. No matter what it is that you're facing, you can grow through it, and you really are equipped to handle what life gives you.
Thank you. And the Creator in me greets the Creator in you. Stay tuned for part 2.